Yeah, definitely. Thanks for being here today. Happy Teal Tuesday. We'll start on practice today a little bit, and then we'll kind of revisit the scrimmage. We have to learn what it means to be a winner on a consistent basis. I think that's one thing when you take over a program, you have to instill the culture of urgency that every single day, whether it's the practice after the spring game, whether it's the first practice of your spring cycle, you have to attack each and every day to win the day. I think we're still trying to learn that here. It showed a little bit today. There were times that you got guys jogging around a little bit when you should be sprinting. We nipped that and finished the practice the right way. I really like the team. I think we've got a ton of guys that believe in what we're doing here. They care about each other. They play the game the right way, and you saw that in the scrimmage. When you go back and watch the film, a lot of good things. I think, again, when you talk, and I haven't said this yet, but I said it in the past interview, the reason you play those types of games is to see who can show up when the lights are the brightest and can see who can process and function in a game-like environment. And I think that really showed up because as coaches, we have to evaluate who can perform physically and then who needs more meeting time, who needs more, work in regards to mental processing. And I think that's what possibly showed up the most is exactly where we can just kind of polish down the details and get better as a group.
In terms of progress on scheme, what did you see in the spring game that you like, just the way that the team is developing with it?
Definitely. I got with the coordinators beforehand and I said, guys, whether you call 4 plays on offense or 4 plays on defense, I want to see us execute. And I think we did that. And I think that gave the guys pride coming into this week and just the understanding that you can learn this. Yes, it's more of an NFL style playbook pretty much on both sides of the ball, but you can learn it. And once you learn it, the offense is going to have open guys. You're going to have open running lanes. Defensively, you're going to close gaps. You're going to be able to eliminate explosive plays. All those types of things are what we want to focus on.
Coach, when you watched the film, what was the major thing that you wanted to show the players about what was positive out of it and then switch the gears and what you saw that really needs to be worked on?
Definitely. I'll start with the positives. They play the game tough and physical. You saw guys getting hit. You saw guys blocking tough. You saw guys being physical down the field. And I think you can win a lot of games with that. That's where your foundation has to start. It has to start with the mentality of toughness. And I've said this before to you, obviously, of it's not when people say toughness, they think of just brawny strength. It's not so much that. It's having a crucial 3rd and 10, having to sustain a drive and understanding the quarterback having to get us in and out of the advantage check, or defensively, if the offensive check's being able to radio it into the green dot, he relays it, we communicate effectively and get the stop. Those types of things I think I was definitely pleased with from the scrimmage. And then negatives, and we addressed that in a big way on Sunday, was you cannot put the ball on the ground. You cannot turn the football over. There was a crucial 4th and 1 on the red zone, fumble the ball early in the game. Running back has the wrong hand up, inexcusable, balls on the ground. We have to win the turnover battle to be successful.
Talk about their play of your tight ends. You got Courtney, obviously, who's somewhat been in, I guess, around long enough to know the systems and how kind of they work. His role in this offense, in your mind?
I think we do a really good job of being effective with our tight ends. I think we do a good job of getting in and out of personnel sets, and that creates matchups that are advantage for us. I mean, when you have guys like Zach Courtney and Cyrus and Jackson Cole, some of those other guys, you can do a lot of things out of multiple sets. You can burst from those sets, get advantages on linebackers, or you can stay tight, run the football effectively. I think it fits their game because when you look at them off the hoof, they're big, strong guys that can be physical at the point of attack. But when you also see them open up and run, they can catch the ball out of the backfield. They can do those types of things to, better prepare them for that next level.
After the spring game, I know you talked a little bit about finding the right mix on your O-line. After going back and watching the tape, do you feel a little bit more confident in who that mix could be?
I feel like I was spot on. I think we're still actually looking for that mix. I don't think we've solidified anything up to this point. And the tough part for them is it's difficult being in the middle of a quarterback battle because you hear a different voice behind you. You hear a different rhythm of cadence. All of those things are variables that are tough on the offensive line. And then I also think we have 2 guys on the sideline that could push for playing time. I think once those guys get healthy, I think that they'll definitely push to play. And, that guy's Gavin McLaughlin and then, Christian Loiza, both tremendous players, mountains of men. So I think once they get healthy and we get kind of farther into fall camp, we'll have a better idea of our best five.
How good can this defensive line be in your mind? I mean, obviously they're setting the tone right now, but how good could they be when you guys hit conference and growing through conference to what you want to achieve? And obviously that's a Sun Belt championship.
If we keep our sense of urgency and keep attacking the days, I think they can be really good. I think they've got really good physical tools, and I also think that you get leadership from those guys. You've got a group of guys that some have played a lot of football, some are new to the mix, but they've really galvanized as a group. They hang out all the time. They watch film together constantly. That is a group that we're going to lean on heavily because, in my humble opinion, you stop the run and you eliminate explosives, you're going to win a lot of football games. And I still think that if we can keep the pedal down and continue to get better each and every day, that group could be special.
Who were some of the guys that you saw step up, under the bright lights, in front of the cameras, in front of the crowd? Just a couple guys that stuck out to you for any?
Yeah, it was really good to see Cope on offense. I think he did a really nice job catching the football, getting yards after the catch. Deuce Bailey stepped up at quarterback, which was good to see, kind of find some rhythm. And then, defensively, Savon's been tremendous. Guy you're about to hear from, Wyatt, had a really good game. And again, I think when you look at our edges, because you hit on it earlier, when you see the edges and how they rush off their first step, that is an elite pass rush. And what people don't realize is that what helps the defense the most is that edge pressure, and a lot of your sacks come from the inside. You get coverage sacks. So I think those guys did a good job. We still need more guys to step up, and we need to see some leadership from that running back room. Right now we're kind of by committee. I would love to see a guy kind of step up, take charge, and really take the brunt of the load.
When you look at your secondary, what is it that stands out to you in terms of what those guys can achieve? And you feel that those four, or who could be the four, are, in your mind, somewhat set at that position?
Yeah, I think what you saw in the spring game is who we want to be. We want to be in multiple in coverage. We want to have guys that can do it all. And when you say that, you're like, what does that even mean? Be able to play middle open coverage, your quarters concepts, be able to roll down, play rip-liz, match six-ish, and then be able to play man so we can pressure. The one thing I think those guys did the best in that spring game was efficient tackling. You saw some big runs break away. Our offensive line did a great job, great blocking up front. They start to break away, and those guys in the back end get them down. I don't know if you would say set, but I do like the bodies back there. I think there will probably be some rotation pieces at corner. I think that's one position where it's just a position where you're on an island and you have to have guys ready to go. So we need to make sure we're consistently getting depth there.
I've talked to several local high school coaches, and they said they've actually met you. You came to school, and you took the time to come to talk to them about recruiting and get to know these guys and do things along those lines. I know that the last several years since Jamie's left, it hasn't necessarily been that way, and I've heard that from several coaches. What is your main focus in terms of just trying to build a relationship with the high school coaches, not just here on the Grand Strand, but in the PD as well, and trying to build that again to let them know, hey, you know what, we got a program right here and we're interested in your kids.
Absolutely. From the first time, I think it was you and I, we sat down right after the press conference and hit on local recruiting and how important it is. And we believe in grassroots recruiting. The only way to have, the nieces and nephews and the young cats around this area wearing Coastal gear is to approach their parents, to approach the coaches of their Pop Warner's team, all those high school coaches. And they need to know us. They need to know that they can come into this office and pass knowledge back and forth and learn from us, and we can learn from them. I want as many high school coaches to be in our facility talking ball, talking about who's the next great player in this area so that they can come right here and be Sean's.
Because there's been quite a few that have gone on to other Sun Belt Conference teams. I'm assuming that in your mind, hey, we can't let other Sun Belt Conference teams take away players that are right here in our own backyard.
100%. I couldn't agree more with that statement. If you're good enough to play at this level, we want you to play right here at Coastal Carolina. And that's important because you talk about building equity in the town, people wanting to come and watch our team play. What better way to do that than have your premier talent on our roster and not playing at some other Sun Belt school and having to get beat by us instead, actually winning with us.